Welcome, my beloved. Language. What is language? What is our voice and our vibrations? And what is this throat and energy center that we call speech and language of our head vibrating to create intonation? Ah. This body, the temple of the worship of full God, that we try to find outside ourselves, is right here in this living flesh. We are the living bones of truth, my friends. I don't put up much videos anymore because it's all been said. Everyone has said it better than I, and I'm still saying it sometimes because I find the world is a disappointment. This is a sad relationship and time that we live in where we're not given the opportunity to really be ourselves and to cultivate an enlightened experience to where we can feel bliss, be happy, and enjoy life. This is the energy extraction matrix. Everything in our world, and it's even endorsed by friends, family, corporations, businesses, they're all draining and extracting energy. They're extracting profit. They're actually just draining our life so we'll never ever have a time to just be, relax. You know, I've been living here at the river for well over a year now. Well over a year. I'm in the water in the morning, all day long, and I sleep at the river. I can hear the river. Maybe you can too, right now. I prefer to live in the jungle, far away from people, because we're all jacked. Everybody is jacked into the system and has to honor and respect the beast, respect the dark forces, Satan, respect the money, respect the people with authority, because we love to honor and respect control grids, because that's how we've been taught. You've been taught, you've been educated, and you've been indoctrinated into a system of control. Jesus is the only way. Until you understand that your vital life and your breath is more important than all the things in life, well, I wish you would, because everyone is selfish. We're all selfish. We're all selfish about what we eat, where we sleep, what we want. We're continually selfish. And if you started to learn how to meditate and really meditate, you'll see how impulsive and mind objectively we're trying to do the same thing. Drain energy from the matrix. I'm up here collecting prana. I'm up here collecting energy from the birds, which I can hear. You don't hear many birds anymore. The prana of the energy of the forest, of the valley, of the air, of the water. I'm just inundated with prana energy. I'm 55 years old, and I don't feel it. I feel better than I did when I was 20. I don't feel depressed. I'm happy all the time. There's an innervation and enjoyment that pulses through my body and from around my surroundings that I'm happy all the time. You know, when I lived in society, there was a time, many times, that I actually felt I want to be suicidal. Nobody cares. Why am I living? Life sucks. I get up and I have to do all this stuff just to pay the rent and just feed myself, and I'm tired at the end of the day. You see, we're all being drained because we're doing things that we don't and we shouldn't be doing. We actually should just be enjoying life and I'm naked most of my day. I don't see it as being naked. I see it as being in touch with my natural auric field and my environment. As soon as I put on clothes, I think differently. I'm more sheltered. I'm more in my head. I'm not in my heart. This is why we also eat more. People eat 2-3 times a day. I eat none or 1 time a day. My hunger is not there because the impulses aren't there to eat. So, again, selfishness. We're selfish. We're even selfish with wanting to live. You see, I actually live a life where I want to die. Where I actually want to, let's say, be like a rock. Be like a stone. Nothing matters. Water off the rock just rolls right off. The rock can take time and time again, it's immortal. I've gone places where I've gone actually a couple of years later, 5, 10 years later, I come back and the same rock's there, and nothing's been done to it. How does that rock get round and small? In 10 years, it hasn't even done one little thing. So this planet's been around so long. It's been on such a long journey that, well, if we could actually appreciate life, if we could be in awe of nature, that's the state, my friend. That is the state you want to enter. It's where you're like, oh my God, I'm alive, I breathe, I'm enjoying, I see, I'm in awe of life. We're not captivated by life in the cities. We're not captivated by life with people that are unhappy. You see, when I go to town, I can read people's minds and thoughts and see their dusty, dirty auras. Because they're not getting clean. They're not washing themselves in the river of life. They're not purifying themselves with their they can actually value a whole breath. You see, the breath should captivate us that we just never leave it. That's our meal. That we're taking a meal of every breath, meaning we're enlivening ourselves. Most people don't even breathe the 90% of the potential of the breath. They're breathing 10%. So enough complaining. I'm only complaining because I want you to see that live life like this is your last day. Nothing else matters. You're going to die tomorrow. How would you live today? This is the Zen way of how I've been living most of my life. You know, I've realized, I look back on my life, and I've actually, over half my lifetime, I haven't eaten. Meaning I absolve myself of the burden of food and carrying it, making it, everything. And the same thing with myself. I want to be like empty and done with the world. Just done with the world. Are you done? Or are you still having fun? Are you still creating a name for yourself? Are you still trying to be successful? Are you still trying to get your name on the plaque? It's all bullshit. Your life is complete bullshit. Everything you've done is bullshit because you've been doing it within a grid of the way they've set it up, like a rat maze. You can only go through the maze how the controller, the moderator made it. And I look back at my life, and I was a success, so to speak, in the world of yoga and other things. The thing is, it never brought me the happiness, right? Happiness is in the flesh, is in enjoying your health of your body. If you're not healthy, you're not happy. And that's what I bring you, health and wealth. So I'm going to show you one breath, and then enough for now. Okay? So the greatest yoga position you could ever do is this one right here. That's number one. This brings your brain and mind together. You know, I've realized that many times when I've seen in movies about somebody's about to get their head blown off or their head cut off or whatever, they're freaking out, they always put their hands together. You start to pray. Something happens energetically without thought. You ever come into a church and you put your hands together? This brings the mind together. That's why. Listen carefully. If you ever want to slow down your mind, center your mind, just be at one with your mind, because this ain't one with your mind. It ain't one, because your thoughts are running out your hands energetically. This becomes one. You want your hands and pads of your hands to connect and make love to each other. Okay? So when I sit and meditate, a lot of times I'll be like this and breathe into the heart. And then I can feel the current. And then when I'm done with that, maybe when I felt like I've had enough, I will open the hands through the meridians and sit like this. Fingertips open, pulling back in the back of the fingernails. And you sit and you breathe. Now the circuit of the breath, there's an energetic. No one actually understands or is revealing to themselves or understands. To you, I want to explain it. Do you know why you breathe? Many reasons, but do you know why you're breathing? It's actually to create a cycle of the pump through the spinal fluid. So when we breathe, we don't just breathe in the chest. I want you to understand this. You breathe through the hips. The hips rotate. So as I'm inhaling, my hips are rotating forward. My back of my butt is going back. My perineum is dropping to the floor, and I'm opening up through the frontal chest, through the throat, and inhaling, right? Like a whole vase opening up. And that's the inhalation. And you breathe as deep as you can. Deep as you can. And you fill everything till you're about to explode. And then you hold that, not hold, but you let that breath stay open and full. And you listen. Look, listen, and feel internally to what is happening. And you feel the prana, the breath, moving into the tissues and into the cells and into your pores. And you don't let the breath go. You just hold it forever in this state. Chin is up with a smile, and you stay there. You stay there and stay there and stay there and stay there till you absolutely have to exhale. Okay? So this is activating the pump of the spine, getting the fluid up to the brain. This is why we're actually breathing, and we're creating a torsion effect. Now the exhale, the hips go forward, and all you men, like you're penetrating a female, you're lifting up on your genitals. A woman, you're rotating, and you're getting the ass, so it's from this, rotating it forward, okay? And you're contracting through the whole digestive channel. You're contracting it, you're lifting up on the bowels, collapsing the chest, the throat, and exhaling. So you can see when you're breathing, inhale like this, and when you exhale, it's like a C. You're collapsing and collapsing and crunching this whole area. And you stay there. And you stay there, and you stay there, and you stay there, and you stay there, until you absolutely have to breathe. That's the exhale. Okay, so the inhale, like growing a tree, your hips go back, lifting up on the chest, head is high, and drop in and relax. And smile. And you hold that breath until your head is about to blow up. Meaning you want your blood pressure, you want your fingers, you want to feel the blood move and pressurize through the lung pressure. Okay? And you sit there, and you sit there, and you sit there and hold it. Now, I can go through this breath again and again and again, but why waste valuable time? Why you watching that? Go back, watch it again, and just get this two things going. Exhale on the hips, rotate the hips back on the inhale, lift up. There are many factors I want to add to this breath that I haven't shown you, that I'll show you in other videos. Like, for example, holding the nose, holding the breath in the mouth, blowing up your head, etc., etc. That will be in the next video. I just want you to see that, acknowledge those two things that I showed you. One is the hands together and breathing. Second position, breathing. And the two breaths, rotating the hips forward, exhale, inhale, coming up, and opening. Thanks for your time.